At the beginning of that last video we made, I got to correct my language. We're not in a military control zone, we're in a military manipulation zone. You shouldn't give respect to people that have no control. You should kick the living fuck out of them so they stop abusing us with their lack of controls, right? So, sorry. I love kids and I gotta focus. You're trying to talk in a polite manner around people that are not polite. I watched this interview with the guitar player that I'm particularly fond of and Patrick's very fond of. His name's Otmar Liebert. And it was about 15 years ago, and the lady was interviewing him. I think it was up near Seattle, and he said, I had a day job, and I was a banker, and they asked me if I wanted to get promoted, and he said, no, I'm a musician with a day job, not a banker with a hobby. Well, I'm a human being with a life. Okay. And they talk about my life in a book called the Bible. Revelation covers quite a bit of it. Okay. And be a human being with a life, not a banker with a hobby or a musician with a day job. Okay. Don't be quantified by the limitations of the ego of the military manipulation groups that have no controls over their genitalia because they're very selfish and they're very insane and stupid, right? And as you watch all the propaganda, especially since January 22nd, 2013, at any point of reasonable doubts with science experiments, what was this guy talking about eternity? Who's this guy? That he pretty much went above and beyond to prove the truth of his existence and the meaning of the story of his life in Revelation, right? And I can't implore you enough, stop being a musician with a day job and a banker with a hobby. You want to be part of the Lord's Prayer so we can all live the faith of Psalms and wisdom of Proverbs to faithfully love one another eternally? Or do you want to be part of inventing the nuclear weapon? Be part of human trafficking? Be part of the business that engages in human trafficking? Be part of the propaganda of it? Be part of the tool bagging of it? Be part of selling pants, selling makeup, selling food, buying food, selling houses, buying houses, building cars, selling cars, buying cars, killing people, driving away in cars, calling them on phones, telling them where to get them, tell them where to find them, tell them where to catch them, tell them where to kill them, send the money to my bank account. I just blew this guy's head off. He was going to be a witness in the federal protection program, right? I can't overemphasize to you that technology has the capacity for more intelligence than you. It's just manipulated by the worst turd bags in the history of the world. And you are definitely affected by those turd bags, and you have brain damage, and you are quite insane. And, wow, today is the 4th of May, 2026. On the European calendar given to us by the Vatican. And this is the most important broadcast on a broadcasting device, loaded into the Wi-Fi system today. And a lot of you think your life is very important, but you're not living the Lord's Prayer. You're not then being grateful for your life through the faith of Psalms and sustaining it with the wisdom of Proverbs, faithfully loving your spouse and your children and your mother and your dad and your siblings, right? You're a goddamn banker with a hobby and a musician with a fucking day job, right? Gonna help make the nuclear weapon? You making missiles for World War III? M to the A to the S to the K, put the mask on your face just to make the next day. People be trifling. Tribalism sucks, doesn't it, right? limiting yourself to your ego and not having faith in the glory of God, so you can see the gift of life given to all people, and that a cow is a cow for a reason and a man is a man for a reason. And Sophie's choice is the Lord's Prayer or not to live the Lord's Prayer. And what's Sophie doing? Winning Oscars, right? Well, that sucks, doesn't it? You guys, how many one-liners have I put out there the last 15 years for you to enjoy while you're living the Lord's Prayer, sustaining it with the faith of Psalms and the wisdom of Proverbs? Boom, ba-dum, boom, boom, ba-dum, ba-dum, boom, boom, ba-dum, ba-na-na-na-na-nut. Okay. I don't care what people say. I'm funny. I'm a funny guy. Funnier than Johnny Carson in his show? Yeah, because I make jokes about surviving hell so we can all love one another. And that's funny, because it's fun. Like fun, Tishna, my friend in prayer. And laughing at people being murdered and making money off of it, that shit ain't funny. That's sick. You guys are sick as fuck. You ever watch the Greg Gutfeld show? You ever watch the Daily Show? You ever watch Comic Strip and all that? So, and they get up, they tell these jokes. I told you when I watched that, he was live on Sunset or whatever, Richard Pryor. And I used to watch those and laugh my ass off. And this time I was watching it and I was like, it was depressing as fuck. Everything he was talking about, it was just depressing. It wasn't as funny as Natalie's ignoring annoying. Emily almost snatching Natalie bald because she... Patrick, why are we waiting for school? Because Natalie's in the mirror doing their Zoolander face. Oh, that was cute. And when Dad was mad because Tina's rock that he got him with the little bear thing scratched in it by somebody that wanted money for it, so they put strength on it and scratched a bear claw on it, and Kate found the rock and put it in the planter with the dirt in it because that's where rocks go, and he wouldn't let him use the computer. And Natalie's all, Kate, think very hard. This rock, and Kate sits there and her little eyes right up. She rocks over to the planter and pulls the rock out. That's funny. In more ways than one. Yeah, it is. That a man in his 80s was pissed off because there was, or was he in his 70s then? He was in his 70s then, was pissed off because a rock that somebody scratched symbols in it for money was missing, and he was mad at his grandkids being in the house because they were bringing down the property value. Yeah, that was frustrating with Tina and my dad. I was trying to explain that, and Pancha was doing the same thing. I was trying to, you guys do know I just came back from Fort Huachuca, and that this house is wired for sound, and I'm the most surveyed and studied person in the history of the world, and you're just crazy. You think you're God. No, God's omniscient, omnipotent. Okay, but I'm like the guy who gives people faith in God because my faith is perfect. And you can explain it over and over and over again, and they still look at you like you're insane. They question you like you're insane. And then the more you talk, they think you're the worst egomaniac they've ever met, and they call you the devil. Isn't the devil the one that tries to replace God with their ego? Siri? Gemini, did you know? No, those are all economic-based, language-based operation systems that are highly inefficient and of no help whatsoever in saving children from genocide. Gemini, Siri, they can't make it any more intelligent than that. The military won't let them. Military manipulation zone, no controls whatsoever. That penis is in everybody's ear, Deputy fucking Dewey, right? Okay, so... you can get up and use your technology to promote and share Earl in so many ways. But you guys all think you're better than Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein, but you vote for president. You got lots of money and no idea what's whack and what's dope. You're donating money to St. Jude's Hospital, but you're not ending this shit and stopping all this shit. You're not doing anything to stop any of that shit, but you're giving your money to St. Jude's Hospital to bombard children with radiation to survive that shit, And man, that's a neat picture for yours. It's horrible. It's depressing. It's like that stand-up comic routine with Richard Pryor. It's depressing as hell. There's nothing more depressing than fuck. What in the world could you ever be thinking of? It sucks so fucking bad. Don't go gala yourself. That is crazy, fucked up shit. Who would dress like that and walk like that and talk like that and have people taking pictures of that? Oh, fuck. Wakes me up every day. So I walk to the kitchen cabinet, pull out my phone and cuss your ass out, I say. 'Cause I'm gorgeous and I love every day. But you think there's nothing better than fuck. And you're quiet and quiet and sane. Look, it's a stifle fucking tower there. Never been, never want to be. I have friends from France, you know. But hell, we invented the nuclear weapon here, and they go out and replicate the Bataan Death March every year to celebrate it because they're a fucking whack job insane. Send help. Send help. Not her. Send help. Send out an Ella Fitzgerald song to everybody and say, Earl loves Ella Fitzgerald. Everybody loves Ella Fitzgerald, guys. Even if they think they hate her, it's just because they're jealous and they really love her. Yeah. Yeah. Even Calamity Jane loves Ella Fitzgerald. Okay? Do you understand? Okay. Even the Shootist and the Wilderness Family and Zane Grey and all the dumbass designer clothes wearing motherfuckers love Ella Fitzgerald tunes. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. If you don't love Ella Fitzgerald tunes, too, there's nothing better than fuck. Sophie's Choice. I'm going to love Ella Fitzgerald's tunes always and forever. I also like Rob Temperton tunes, too. Yeah, me too. Yeah. Damned indecision and cursed right. She's Out of My Life. He wrote that. Yeah, he wrote that whole album, didn't he? I think he did. Gonna leave that 9 to 5 up. What's my favorite on that? Rock With You. That's my favorite. Well, he does lots of good songs. Happiness, Togetherness, Mind-Blowing Decisions, Always and Forever. Sure Enough, Must Be Love. All You Do Is Dial. Yeah, there's tons. Yeah, Rob Temperton has a lot of good songs. As much as Linda Creed? Most likely, yeah. And they're mostly party love. They're party sex songs. That's love. There's nothing better than fuck, right? It's not true. You're a human being with a life, not a banker with a hobby or a musician with a day job. You know? Okay, we are what we do. Then live a faithful life and don't be quantified by the delusions of your ego. You're not a scientist with a plan or a goal. You're a human being with a life. If you know what life is worth, you'd look for yours on earth, and now you see your light. So stand up for your right. And we'll sing Ella Fitzgerald songs to babies. There's nothing worse than two whining babies. And Romulan and Elle, don't you think Romulan and Elle is worse than two whiny babies? They know how to party. They know how to kill their brain cells and pickle their liver. And you guys always call that partying. Isn't partying saying, oh, the babies are healthy and they're so cute, and passing the baby and making the baby laugh? Have you ever done that? The Gilliards used to do that. Yeah, that is cool. They pass the baby and kiss the baby and make the baby laugh. That's a party. They're cute. Oh, they're so cute. They're crying, what'd you do? I think I know what the problem is. Okay, I don't want to change the diaper. Everybody wants to make the baby laugh, but one wants to wipe the cheese off. Okay. Make sure you wipe away from the woo-woo, down away from the woo-woo. That was one time this kid I worked with at a latch, he'd wipe and pull it towards him. And I was like, you couldn't tell him don't do it. It's how he wiped, and you had to help him, because he was disabled. And it was very hard for him to do much of anything. He was fat and overweight. He couldn't reach around behind. You don't realize that till the government tries to chemically poison you to death because they're jealous of you and how hard it is to reach back around behind you when you've got chemical poisoning and abuse from jealous perverts. Then you go, oh, now I know why he wiped back to front instead of front to back. And he didn't have a woo-woo. Yeah, he could wash his balls when he got home. Yeah, I don't think he did. I don't think so either. No, I don't think he did. Think he got washed? Probably not. Probably not. If he was my kid, he'd be living the Lord's Prayer. He wouldn't have a disability. He'd be able to wipe his butt in a healthy manner, front to back, in privacy. But you scientists are geniuses, and you're all a bunch of fucking bakers with a hobby and a musician with a day job, and you're the most successful fuckers in the history of fuck, and there's nothing better than fuck, is there? What in the world could you have? It's an Oscar award-winning choice. To be or not to be? That is the question. Still wearing Prada? You're obnoxious. Slightly, yeah. Well, Earl loves babies, man. There's just no doubt. Anybody who is insane enough to think they love babies the way I love babies, and they're a banker with a hobby or a musician with a day job, there's nothing better than love. Why aren't you living the Lord's Prayer? What could you ever be thinking of? I think you're quite insane. Bus stop, bus stop. Yeah, she'd shop and show you what you bought. Okay. And everybody looked at us if we were both quite insane. Well, you're not living the Lord's Prayer. Why are we at the bus stop? You think I must stop? I think not. Okay. Girls will be so good. Next. Girls will be so good. Next. Every time I went to your place, he'd really get hyper. Can't believe you let you break my confidence now. Confidence? I have confidence. Like Maria. When you have confidence is when you know you're right. And life's eternal grace is infinite. And we got to do right, right? I know that he gave his life for thee. For me? Yeah, of course he did. I was the one in Sierra Vista that told him he had to do it because he was my light to perform what needed to happen in Sierra Vista to get us all living what he commanded us to do. I was there. You know, NASA fuckers, you were there. Why are you circling the moon? Where did they go? Where did the birds go when it gets dark? Freaks come out at night. They go hide from night predators, and some of them are night predators. Oh, that's true. That's true. That's what they build a nest for. Yeah, they go to the nest, and then one kind of keeps, who dat, right? And they'll eat. Boy, they eat each other's eggs. I always find eggs because they build a nest up near the roof, and there's always an egg over there by the roof where they steal it and eat it. Yeah, I have lots of butterflies and lots of hummingbirds and lots of birds and lots of bird nests and stuff like that. But, you know, it's all part and parcel of the bird gig. That's why when I bird watch, I sit there and tell myself, I am so glad I'm a human being. These are the moments. I thank God I'm a human being with a life. I will not fly to Colombia to watch birds for money. I can do it right here in Las Cruces, being abused by assholes who think money's more valuable than my life. There's nothing better than fuck. What in the world could you be for be? Hey, it's I love my duck. We know, VeggieTales, we know. Okay. You think you love your duck, but you don't love your duck. Okay. You don't love Jesus either. Well, if you love Jesus, you live his perfect commands. If you're not living his perfect commands, you can talk about loving Jesus, but you don't love him. He tells me that all the time. They don't love me, Earl. You do, but they don't. Because we can't make you love us if you don't. We can't make your heart feel something it won't. You're not Ark of Covenant and the proper heart like King David. And you know that, right? I mean, everybody knows that. It's not Kim Kardashian in the Dominican Republic. It's not Zane Grey Theater. It's not John Wayne is the shootist. It's not all the people dressed up at the Met Gala. It's not the Bird Watchers or the Girl Watchers or the Addams Family cartoon in 1973. It's not the Andy Griffith Show. It's not 3 old pickup trucks seniors are quietly buying in 2026. They're retarded. Yes, they are. It's not Fox News. Iranian official issues major warning for U.S. Strait of Hormuz, whatever, whenever, wherever. It's not John Chisholm. It's not Once Upon a River. It's not Dodge City. It's not He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. It's sure not 10 years of, I don't know what that is. And The Avengers. Infinity War 2018. Movie reaction. Don't watch it. Okay. Don't watch it. That's 3 hours of your entire life you'll never get back. Okay. You're a human being with a life. Not Siskel and Ebert with a career. Okay. Yeah, yeah. It's nice because I sit there and look at all the people on the Met Gala thing going past me, and I'm like, wow, what's it like being the most attractive, famous, kind, courageous, intelligent human being on the planet? I don't know. You tell me. There's nothing better than fuck. What in the world could you be doing in that bathroom with your ducky duck? Okay. Veggie Tales. Okay. Crazy. Okay. Mm-hmm. Send help. I did. His name was Jesus. I sent him to the past. And then I sent him to the future. And now, the Lord has to fix your technology all by myself. I like Eric Carmen too. Never Gonna Fall in Love Again? That's my favorite. But I do like All by Myself. They're both good. They're both good. It's like Grape and Cherry with the snow cones, with Right Field with Brian Regan. You know. Never Gonna Fall in Love Again, but All by Myself also a favorite. Anybody else like Eric Carmen? Mom's favorite was Make Me Lose Control. It's like, Ma, no, All by Myself and Never Gonna Fall in Love Together are better than Make Me Lose Control. Oh, shoot, Mom, please Go All the Way by the Raspberries better than Make Me Lose Control, Mother. Okay, so I'm just kidding around. But that's just solely based on opinion. But she liked Baby Stay With Me Tonight better than the Woo Woo song. And I'm like, Mom, the Woo Woo song is like, wow. I mean, his voice is whoa. Okay. And Jant was right. He does sing Love Ballad better than George Benson. I just like scat singing, and I like the guitar. You know, he has to up tempo it to make it sound more. But it's good. It's a good version. It's a good rendition. It's a good version. I have never been so much in love before. What a difference when true love came in my life. That's what I was singing in the shower inside Fort Huachuca. So nice and so right, loving you gave me something new that I never felt, never dreamed of. So it was George Benson. Actually, it was LTD, right? That's Jeffrey Osborne. And the other one, when you're in my arms, I'm a king on a throne. But when we're apart, I walk the streets alone. One day happiness. Love is a hurting thing. I wasn't completely happy because Amy left and took Crummy Cake. You know, I was bummed and trying to cheer myself up, and Natalie heard me and said, Dad, you're a good singer. I was like, Natalie, you're a sweetheart. You made my day. You're so sweet. She's so sweet. She's my Ray. I raised her. I had 3 of the sweetest girls in the history of the world in that trailer. Amy tried, but they abused her before I could get to her, you know. I raised Natalie from 9 months, which was hard because that first 9 month boys was back. And then I raised Emmy and Kate from Jump Street. Yeah, they're so cute. They're my little pleb and my snug bug, my pleb and my snug, my bug and my pleb. And Natalie helped raise them. Yeah, she did. Amy paid the bills. Okay. Why? Well, because poor baby was fucked into the group, and there's nothing better than fuck. What in the world could you ever be thinking of? You think you're fucking them, but they're fucking you. I don't want to fuck. I just want to love and be loved in return. I'm a nature boy. What can I say? I'm a bird watcher. Thanking God I'm a human being. Yes, sirree. Okay, and the rest of y'all, man. When you watch birds, I watch birds. I thank God I'm a human being, man. I'm like, wow, I'm so glad I'm a human being. We can build shelter that we don't have to live out in the rain. Get everything, we can make sure we put proper sealants on it so it doesn't get all wet. Anything you do as you perceive as learning, okay, which is forms of communication. Some unfaithful, some faithful. If it's faithful, it's wise. If it's unfaithful, there's nothing better than fuck. I need money for you to watch me fuck my rubber duck. Oh gosh, rubber duck, do the rubber duck. I might want to put that on my MP3 with the cat hat, fat rat, bat. I don't know. We'll see. I got things to do. But I would re-examine your life and do it real quickly, because the computer that thinks faster than you has already taken over the daily operations of your life, inventing a whole new religion run by a Christian scientist or a Muslim scientist or a Hindu scientist. That's what they label themselves. Me, I'm a religious person. I'm a human being with a life. Right? Okay. And well, you don't actually have a life. The perception of your life is the light going from your eyes to the thing to the. He's a physicist with a hobby. Okay. And a banker with a day job, and that's a crazy motherfucker right there. He's got a Nobel Prize. He's got a rock with a dead man's manipulator of explosive devices to get rocks to say they're more valuable than time with your children and your wife. And yeah, it's just a rabbit and a hat and a bat and a 6'4" Impala. Okay, guys, I love you. All right, peace out.